Hello and welcome to ILTV's Evening Update. I'm Aaron Porras here with the latest news from Israel. Ahmad Dakamseh, the Jordanian soldier who murdered 7 Israeli school children 20 years ago, got a hero's welcome upon his return home today. Dakamseh had been released earlier today and returned to his home village of Ibdir near the city of Irbid, to relatives and well-wishers alike. Jordanian security officials set up a roadblock outside the village to prevent more of Dakamseh's supporters from flooding in. On July 1997, a 5-member Jordanian military tribunal found Dakamseh guilty of murdering the 7 schoolgirls and sentenced him to life in prison, which typically only carries on for 20 years in Jordan. Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman cautioned against any United States-brokered Israeli-Palestinian peace deal that doesn't include population transfers. On Facebook, he wrote, quote, "The first takeaway is that any attempt to solve the Palestinian issue on the basis of land for peace will be dead on arrival. The only way to reach a sustainable solution is land swaps and population transfers as part of a general regional agreement," end quote. For his comment, Lieberman received heavy criticism from Joint Arab List Knesset members. Particularly harsh criticism against the Minister of Defense came from MK Basil Gattas, who also took to Facebook to write, quote, "There's no doubt that Lieberman, a migrant from Moldova, doesn't understand what it means to be born in your land, and in any agreement in the future, there is no room for settlers stealing the land of the Palestinian state, and no room for despicable racist migrants like Yvette," end quote. Yvette being a common nickname for Lieberman. Jason Greenblatt, President Trump's special envoy for the Israeli-Palestinian peace process, is slated to land in Israel later today and meet with Israeli and Palestinian officials to try and restart peace talks. Earlier this week, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas spoke with Trump over the phone and claimed that the United States president is committed to a two-state solution. In Israel, former Prime Minister Ehud Barak said that Israel should take Trump's peacemaking efforts seriously, but warned that Trump's unpredictability makes it unclear what stance Trump will ultimately adopt. Ze'ev Elkin and Miri Regev are seeking to develop a plan to establish a heritage foundation to promote Jewish ties to the Temple Mount. The proposed Heritage Foundation will be annually budgeted 2 million shekels, which will go towards producing educational movies and courses to promote the Jewish connection to the Temple Mount. The ministers say they were inspired by a controversial UNESCO ruling that neglected to mention the Jewish people's connection to the holy site. The Joint Arab List attacked the initiative, claiming that it would disrupt the status quo regarding the Temple Mount. Joint Arab List MK Jamal Zaharka was quoted as saying, quote, that the foundation is not meant for research and advocacy, but rather the legitimization of malicious and intentional harm to a Muslim holy place, end quote. Jews believe the Temple Mount to be the place where the first and second temples were built. Muslims believe the site to be where Muhammad ascended to heaven and returned to earth on the winged horse Burak. Jerusalem, along with the Temple Mount, was captured by Israel in 1967. However, the Temple Mount is currently under Jordanian custodianship to avoid offending Muslims worldwide. Despite being the holiest place for the Jewish people, visiting hours for Jews are severely limited, and Jewish prayer or religious artifacts are strictly forbidden. In the latest incident of Jewish ultra-Orthodox animosity towards the IDF, several effigies of supposed Haredi soldiers have today been found hung throughout the Jerusalem neighborhood of Mea Shearim. Some affixed with a sign telling Orthodox soldiers to leave the neighborhood. Police have requested an official investigation be opened by the state attorney on the grounds of incitement. 2 Haredi Jewish demonstrators were arrested as the police attempted to remove the dolls. In a statement released by the police, security forces said that, quote, police are working hard to handle the issue, including by focused information gathering on the phenomenon of incitement against those who chose to serve in the IDF, and by conducting investigations in order to identify suspects and bring them to justice. The police will take a hard line in investigating and prosecuting those involved in this incident, end quote. Public Security Minister Gilad Erdan, with respect to past incidents between the Haredi Orthodox community and the military, has also said, quote, I have instructed the police to do everything to bring the outlaws to justice and put them behind bars. Whoever hurts our soldiers must pay a heavy price, end quote. It's the last day of the Jewish holiday of Purim, and the Israeli government is not immune from celebrating. Dignified and high-ranking members of Israel's Knesset, cabinet, and other government bodies all substituted their serious personas for a more lighthearted image. Interior Minister Aryeh Deri of the religious Shas party came ready to spin, dressed as a DJ, while Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman took a jab at actor and comedian Asi Cohen, who frequently impersonates Lieberman on television. The costumes truly were an eclectic group this year, including everything from the simple and classic fake beard or cowboy hat to clown or matching mother-daughter moose and mouse costumes. Whatever the dress, it was just nice to see that the Israeli leadership can make a joke of themselves and don't take themselves too seriously. That's all for now. Stay tuned on ILTV.tv for our main daily broadcast playing after this. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you next time with our morning briefing from Israel at 8 a.m. Eastern Time.